Okay. Got this dialed in. And keep making some adjustments to it. There's a jolt when bringing it back in. There's an explosion of air that sends it back in. So we're going out. We're talking about 1, 2, 3. So going back in, talking about 1. See the jolt right there? So I gotta get past that. And only when I get past that, I can gently press this button. So I'm only letting a little bit of, I'm actually controlling the flow, much like a pressure sensitive actuator. So a little bit, 1, 2, 3. So it goes back in at the same rate. Okay, and I've got the valves opened up. This one is almost to 1 full turn, and this one is, I think this was at 1 full turn. Let's see here. So, no, this one was to almost 1 full turn, and then this one was less. This was like a quarter of a turn. So we're at 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Oh, and now it's slower. 1, 2, 3. So we're back there. So we got almost 1 full turn. We'll go with 1 full turn here, and over here we're at about 3/4 of a turn. Okay, and so the same comes back in, but the difference there, you notice when you push the button to extend, there's no jolt. Okay, it's like the air is, it's like the chamber is empty, and then the air hits it and just shoves it through. So it goes out. But when you come back in, it does that. See that? So, but if I gently push the button, slowly open that actuator, then it builds. It'll build inside in the chamber until it gets enough pressure to push it out. So, or push it back in. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3. So now, when we turn on the other system, the actuator, or I mean the accumulator is going to fill up, so it's going to be filled with pressurized air. Okay, and it's slowly bleeding off into this motor. Okay, so let's get the motor run. It requires you to get to about 60, 70, 80, almost 90 pounds per minute in order to get the motor started. Now the motor will run when you drop the pressure of it. The motor will run till around 60. The closer you get to 50, it pretty much stops. Okay, so we're going to get it going at about 70, so it'll be a nice even run. Extend again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. They're effectively becoming in a little bit more. The retraction more than it did the extension. So we got 1, 2, 3. Coming back in. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3.5. So okay. Now if we drop this down, now it shouldn't affect any of the over here. It shouldn't, because the pressure to the motor is coming from here mainly. This is just keeping our main, which is running keeping this full. So this is really running the pressurized or the pneumatic motor. So in order to keep that same, let's close this one to 1, 2, 3. 1, no, too much. Go back in. 1, 2, 3. So we're right about the same there. Back to, so we had to make a slight adjustment for the retraction for some reason. I can't imagine like that. Let's turn this off. Now it shouldn't have taken up that much pressure to push it back in, but the fact that when you push this button and it gives you that jolt, that initial jolt of air. Yeah. See how that affects it. 1, 2, 3. Not at all. 1, 2, 3. Again, the retraction. It seems to affect the retraction than it does anything else. So if I open this up a touch more, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn the motor off. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we're back to dialed back in now at the beginning. So let's turn this back off. Exhaust the air. See if we change it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. Now we've sent air. It did affect the PSI that we're operating with. It adjusted it a little bit. So we're still at 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and there's still that jolt. That jolt is back. If I go, yeah, it's all the way out. So I'm only going to go to there right now. So now, if I'm retracting back in, no, it's about the same. Alright, so the splitting it off into two different branches didn't affect the pressure at all. The source, it did affect the source. It required more air pressure, and it actually jumped up to about 85 psi when I had it set at 80. Now it's sitting at 80, and which is different because I had it set at 80 to begin with, and now it's at about 70. It's closer to 70, 75. So, all right, 3 seconds out, 3 seconds back, but with a jolt. Activate the motor. Motor starts at about 90 pounds per minute. And it will run, if you reduce it, it'll run till around 60 pounds per minute. Okay, but it doesn't affect the operation of the double acting cylinder. Okay, because of the accumulator. This makes up for a difference in the air pressure, keeping the motor running, balancing out the speed of the motor regardless of the supply that's coming in. Okay.